Welcome to Elite Expert Insider Podcast, where we will inspire, motivate, and educate entrepreneurs, innovators, and growth seekers. Brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, making the best and brightest in the industry #1 best-selling authors. 80% of people say they want to write a book. We're assuming that's the same for you. If so, contact us at www.eliteonlinepublishing.com and make your book a reality. Hey everyone, it's Melanie Johnson and Jen Foster again. How is everyone today?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So Jen and I are doing this series. We went to SellerCon, which is all about how to sell on Amazon, plus amazing business knowledge. So we are doing a series of podcasts of people that we talk to and listen to there. Sara Blakely being one. She was the the founder of Spanx, creator and founder of Spanx, and she was amazing. So we're going to tell you everything we learned from Sara Blakely at this conference. And first of all, we want to remind you to subscribe to our podcast because we're always bringing you just this amazing content, and we're always trying to inspire you, motivate you, and make you more successful. So make sure you subscribe and leave us a message. Also, if you're looking to write a book and become a best-selling author, reach out to us at Elite Online Publishing. You can leave a submission form right there. So, Jen, what did you like best? What was one of your big takeaways of Sara Blakely?
Yeah, well, I was just so impressed. She invented Spanx, and she's sold millions and millions of them. And she did it by being a go-getter, by being persistent and taking action. And I mean, my biggest thing from her was, she wasn't afraid because she did this all in the 80s and 90s. And she wasn't afraid to go out there and get it done. She had the courage to just do what it needed to be done and taking action so that she could make this the company that it is today. And it was really just, what she thought about, what is she good at, right? Think about that in your life. Like, what are you good at? Because if you just do stuff that you're kind of okay at, you're just going to be okay your whole life. But if you think about what you're great at, you can focus on that and become great, right? So
Yeah.
She knew how to sew. She knew how to do all these different things. And, she created the Spanx because she didn't look good in these white pants that she needed to go to an event in. And she didn't like how she saw a panty line. That was like the biggest problem. And so she wanted to wear these white pants and she didn't want a panty line. So she invented a product that would work for her, that would hold everything in and not show a panty line. And it wasn't just the hose, right? Because wearing pantyhose underneath pants is not fun. It's not comfortable. And you don't need to wear pantyhose if you're wearing pants, especially if you want to wear sandals. Then you have to cut the toes. It's just it's a nightmare. So there was that problem that she fixed, and she invented Spanx. And then the way that she told her whole story, and she was interviewed. The interviewer did a really good job. If you do have a chance to go to SellerCon next year, or if you have a chance to see the videos, if you were there, go and watch the video again. The interview was great.
When you were talking about her being gutsy, so these are the gutsy moves that she made. She, after she developed her product, she called the buyer at Neiman Marcus. She didn't start anywhere else. She went right to Neiman Marcus, the highest level, the top most luxury brand department store in the 80s and 90s and still is today. She called their buyer, went over there, and the buyer first wasn't very interested, but she proved her point. She had her go into the restroom and try them on, or showed them with the pants before and after, and then that's what sold her. So that was her first gutsy move. Her next gutsy move with Neiman Marcus was that she didn't ask for permission. She figured she would say she was sorry instead of ask for permission. So what did she do? She took her Spanx and put them at every checkout in the women's department. She bought these little things from Office Depot, these little stands, and stuck 5 pair of Spanx at every checkout so people would get there. She moved a display to the end of the escalator. She didn't ask for permission for that either. She just moved it there so people would see it. Her next big gutsy move was she just figured her stuff was good enough that she should just send it all to Oprah. She didn't think, oh, well, maybe, what if they don't like it, or no one calls me back, or I spent money on a big basket. She just put together a big, wonderful basket with a personal note to Oprah. And one of her assistants showed it to her and had her try them on. And then she was in love with them. And that was the end of that story. So
Mm-hmm.
she was just gutsy. She just figured she would just do it. And she wasn't afraid of the obstacles. And by the way, if you think things happen overnight, which, a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's taking too long. It took her 2 years to get her prototype. 2 years. So,
Yeah.
she got a lot of stuff that didn't work in the meantime. People can get discouraged and you want to give up. So that's what happens in entrepreneurship. You're going after it, and then you maybe get a little spike like Neiman Marcus took her, but then she wasn't getting picked up anywhere else. So then she had to go through those little bit of downtime or down sales times to hit and skyrocket again. It's just having that longevity that really stood home with me.
Right. Well, and I think, a lot of times we look at, the successful woman, Sara Blakely, and oh, she's had Spanx for 20 years and oh, she's just been a success her whole life. But you don't see the little things that she built up to this moment, all the failures that she had to go through to be a success today. And
Mhm.
and it really is ups and downs. I mean, she talked a little bit about competitors or people that would try and steal her ideas. She would meet in front of all these people who like big wigs who would say they're going to work with her and buy her or invest in her, but really they're just stealing her idea, right? And she had to deal with that. And I loved her attitude about that. Her attitude was really just have faith in her product, move forward. Don't She has a policy not to go after or to sue anyone. And I think that's a great courage. It's
Yeah.
courage to say, I believe in my product, I believe what I do. And she said that her competitors, after a couple of years would fall off anyway. So she's still the number one in her industry Spanx
Yeah.
is everywhere. So.
She was saying about packaging. So she looked at her competition, which I think was smart, of how they were packaged. And at the time, if anyone knows that era, pantyhose was white or maybe it was black, but the packaging. So the packaging, mostly white, beige, some black. So she did hers in red. So it totally stood out. It made hers different. So I think that was really important. And she
Mm-hmm.
said the thing when you're selling something is start with the story. So lead with story. That's what people captures their attention. And Jen and I teach this all the time because, of course, we're in the book publishing business and we're saying, tell your story, lead with a story. Each chapter of your book should start out with a story or a story of transformation. That's what captures people's attention and connects them to you. And she said, you should always start with the problem and then move to the solution. Let them
Mm-hmm.
know, hey, do you relate to this problem? Start that way. And then one thing, I don't know, Jen, do you have notes on hire your weakness there?
Um, yes, I just have that, she talked about hiring your weakness, and that's because you don't want to hire people that are like you. You don't want to hire people that have the same personality as you. So whatever you're not good at, whatever
Mhm.
you are, that comes back to the what are you good at? What is the thing that you're an expert at? What are you not good at? And
Yeah.
hire those people who are good at that. If you're not an organizer, if you're not, then hire someone who is. If you're an action taker, and you like to get things done, but you also need somebody that can help you to execute as well. So you've got to hire your weakness for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And
Which is
she was saying what she did was she said, you have to know what your lanes are. So there's different lanes, right? So in every business there's a different hats or different lanes. And if you go out of your lane to put on another hat, like say for her it was like with shipping and the back end office, she wasn't good at that, so she hired that out. If she would
yeah.
have switched lanes, she wouldn't be the success she is today. So she had to stay in her own lane. So you got to think about that and outsource where you can.
Yep. And know why you're different. What makes you different? And she said the biggest thing is keeping in mind not the money, but how to serve your customer. What's the best way to serve your customer and the purpose behind it? So
Mm-hmm.
when you care the most, then that's when you're going to win. Your company's going to win. Your service is going to win because you care the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
she also said to have your purpose in mind, like always keep your purpose. So, I mean, we talk about why all the time, but you really have to think about, what is my purpose, and keeping focused on that purpose so you don't deviate from your big
Yeah.
why or from your big purpose.
Yeah. And she said, don't mistake it. It's hard work. It's a lot of hard work. So if you're
Mhm.
not in for the hard work and you just want it easy, it's not going to happen. And the mindset thing is so important. I mean, every conference Jen and I go to, they always talk about mindset and having that positive self-talk. And
Mhm.
I remember for a while, I was like, oh, I'm just so tired of hearing about mindset. It's like, can we just get to like how I'm going to make this thing work? But it's so true, because then you
Yeah.
catch yourself where you're having a crummy day and then you're not doing what you need to do because your head's not in the game. And actually I've run across people that their head is just not in the game, and you can't be productive if your head's not in the right space and in the game of where you need to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. But
Yeah.
overall, she was an excellent interview, and it really made me want to go and learn more about her and her story. And I wanted to go buy Spanx after I was done when she was done with her interview.
I wanted to get she started men's underwear. I'm like, okay, I'm buying everyone Spanx men's underwear because I have a bunch of men in my life, my boys, my brothers, my nephews, so I'm like, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that was it for Sara Blakely. We really got a lot out of that. I hope you got a lot out of it too. We'll have a few more interviews for you for SellerCon. And that's it for now. This is Melanie Johnson and Jen Foster checking out. Remember to subscribe.
If you'd like to create the most powerful advertising tool for your business, contact us at eliteonlinepublishing.com, where we will help you create, publish, and make your book a #1 bestseller, and show you how to get new leads and more revenue for your business. If you'd like to check us out on our Facebook page, we have a free book for you as our gift. Just go and click Free Book. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment for our podcast. We would love to hear from you.